Coming to you live from the Source Sun in Pretoria this afternoon, the 40th Test match ever to be played between the Springboks and France, the third one here at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria. Over to Allister Coetzee Springbok coach for the announcement of the matchday squad.
Thank you, Elma. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to announce the Springbok team to take on France. 15 Allister Coetzee, 14 Raymond Roux, 13 Jesse Kriel, 12 Jan Serfontein, 11 Cortnels Kosan, 10 Elton Yankees, number 9 Ross Grenier, number 8 Warren Whiteley, captain, 7 Opa Mahoje, 6 Sia Kolisi, 5 Franco Mostert, 4 Eben Etzebeth, number 3 Frans Malherbe, 2 Malcolm Marx, number 1 Tendai Tawarira. 16 Bongi Manambi, 17 Steven Kitsoff, 18 Kuni Oosthuizen, 19 Pieter Stef de Tooy, 20 Jean-Luc Dupré, 21 Francois Hougaard, 22 Frans Steyn, and number 23 Dylan Leitz.
Coach, I'm sure that you had a rough outline of what you had in mind for a matchday squad before you headed to play. How much has that changed looking at what you've just announced today over the last 2 weeks?
No, to be honest with you, Alma, it has been very tight calls and it's been very tough to select the team for the first test. If you look at the first 15, all those players have really performed well in Super Rugby. They showed good form. They really trained well for the past 2 weeks. And based on that, it wasn't easy. But I had to start somewhere and make a selection, and that was the call. And some might feel unlucky not to be starting or not to be in the 23. But I'm so happy with the way it is really much narrower than before. These players are really pushing for positions, and it's a good position to be in.
Plenty of combinations in that starting lineup. However, the front row, 3 players from 3 different sides.
Yes, I must say, one has got to look, and you look at the amount of caps. It's not that the caps play rugby, but in the end I've got to make sure that there's a balance between a bit of experience, and where I had to add experience was with Frans Malherbe. He's been playing well as well. He's been scrumming particularly well throughout the season, and people might say that he's Ruan Dreyer and Malcolm Marx have played together for the Lions, but yet again, it's a hooker starting his first test game, and then also Taike Prop in his first test. And you have a guy like Frans Malherbe who's been there. He understands, what happens at test match level. So where I could add a bit of experience, I did that, and I just think that they've trained, exceptionally well. And Elton Yankees and Ross Grenier, obviously, it's a no-brainer. We had Francois Hougaard just 5 days with us, training effectively, and that was the way to go, And Cortnels Kosan is impressed for the last 2 years, and I'm happy for the new caps. Really, they deserve it. Allister Coetzee as well at the back, and then Raymond Roux on the other side. Also close between Raymond and Dylan Leitz. Raymond has played a bit of 14 as well, but Dylan covers more positions, so off the bench I think it'd be a better call. Plenty
of Lions players in the starting lineup. Tactically, what should we read into that?
No, I think what one must understand is I've looked at good decision makers, really good decision makers, because of the time that we had to train together. And I think if you look at backfield, in the open play situation, you have a Cortnels Kosan who understands Warren Whiteley if he should play back Elton Yankees or Allister Coetzee. So there's already a good combination, and that is more important than combinations from set piece to me, as the understanding of what to do. We've got our obviously our exit players, how to get out of our counter-attack opportunities, and just the mere fact that they have been playing together for the last 2 seasons, and Super Rugby level, even more than that, there would be a good understanding.
Is it a coincidence that the spine of the team are made up of Lions players?
Yeah, well, look, it's great to have that, because that's where you need to have calm heads. You need to have guys who really understand their roles and responsibilities. They would be the most important guys in terms of taking responsibility when it goes tough. It's not going to be easy, this test. I mean, a massive test match, but it's nice to look at someone who you have played together, and Warren would rely on those decision makers, obviously, the spine of the team, but also rely on Siya Kolisi and Eben Etzebeth. Those are the leaders in the team, a beast there. So I just feel that we've got a good sort of a synergy in the team. The other leaders are supporting Warren well, and Warren is used to playing with a Sous behind Malcolm Marx in the scrum, and also with Ross behind him and Elton the halfbacks, and then Andries at the back.
Of the debutants, who was most emotional when you gave them the news?
Yeah, look, becoming a Springbok is always an emotional thing, and there is place for emotions. We're human beings, but I think what is important is to channel it in the right direction, and we've spoken about that. The expectation is really huge on a young team, and the big thing is not about the individual. He must never feel alone in a test match or go alone through his emotions, but it's always going to be a us and a we thing, sharing those emotions and talk about it, and making sure that no one is unsure what he must do.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. We continue with our press conference. Question to the coach.
Allister, obviously victory is always the most important thing. What would your other expectations be from this team?
Yeah, look, obviously that is, we play test match rugby to win, but we've got processes that are important, and we need to follow that. And the big thing is, it will never just happen in a straight line, and you'll turn up and everything just go our way. We must understand that we play against a very quality outfit, a good French team. So they will be on top in certain stages of the game, but it's important for us to know how to react to that. I think our process, that's the most important thing, to stick to that. I think the detail has gone in this week. Players know what to do when they're in trouble, or what to do when we're on top of it. So that's what the game is all about, ebbs and flows.
Allister, is it a bit of a worry to a degree that you've got a back three that between them hasn't played in a test as yet?
Yeah, look, when it comes to test match rugby, they might be inexperienced, but they flippin' seasoned campaigners and good rugby players. When you look at those players, you see wingers that work hard, they pacey, they come off the line, they don't stand and get cold there, and they're big and strong, and they've got different attributes that they will bring to the party, and hopefully that's part of the plan, to see how active they're going to be and not stand their winger and getting cold. Yeah, obviously, there's a big thing made out about the size of the opposition, and that we're fine with that. We're comfortable. Like I say, our whole thing is about, it's our man. It's not just his man, So, but the X Factor things, we hope they will bring to the party as well.
Allister, and then just your centre pairing, the reason why you specifically picked them?
Yeah, look, the centre pairing, it's an obvious choice. I think with all the injuries, Damien Delenda out, Lucanio M from the start out, and then Lionel battling with the centre pairing. Those two centres are experienced centres as well, for one. They've got test match experience, and a person like Jan, might not have played in the most confident team in Super Rugby, but I know Jan is character that we have, a guy that has more than an 80% win record in the green and gold. So Jan Serfontein is a class act, and Jesse has just been outstanding this whole 2 weeks in the way he's trained, and the confidence that both those players sort of showed at training. So I'm really happy with a bit of a combination going, and the experience that they do have.
What is the role for Frans Steyn then? You spoke initially about him as maybe being the backup to Elton. Is that his role? Or
yeah, it's still his role. Definitely still a backup to Elton. And look, to have Frans is just a little bit of a jack in the box as well. You need to have a player on the bench that can make something happen. He's a guy that can drop from his own 10-meter line if you need to have that player on the field. He's also our second goal kicker in the team. So Frans Steyn will cover 10.
Since we last spoke to you on Monday, the news has now been coming out that Wayne Vermeulen will be out for the other two tests as well. How big a blow is that to you?
Oh, look, a player like the caliber of Dwayne Vermeulen would be a blow to any team that he's involved in. Is by far one of the best, number 8s in world rugby. So yes, it is a bit of a setback for us, definitely. But I think again, opportunity for other players, which we wouldn't have maybe had the opportunity or a chance to look at. And therefore, I've got Jean-Luc Dupré on the bench. I think Jean is a big ball carrier as well. He's very abrasive as a player as well. And we look at his strengths that we can utilize in the team.
And as just on the balance of the loose chair, Jean-Luc would seem to be a more like-for-like replacement for Duane. So if you just chat about the strengths of Opal, why he's starting. And then playing on the high veld at altitude, the Lions have obviously played at a very high tempo, which I think Northern Hemisphere teams maybe aren't that used to. Was there a temptation to go with a guy like Jaco Kriel coming off the bench, or has he just not played enough rugby lately?
Good answer as well. You answered it for me, Ken. I think just on the balance of the loosies, or let's rather say, why is Jaco not in the starting? Exactly for that reason. I said all the players, they're starting 15, they're battle-hardened guys, they've played and they've trained for 2 weeks. And the only thing is Jaco's injury came at a, time, unfortunate time.
Inopportune.
Yes, and he's at 20 minutes of rugby against the Kings. And I think it'd be better for Jaco to put some more hard work in. He also maybe a week or so ahead of his injury, his rehab, but he's really recovered well. But I think it's just the 20 minutes that he's had under his belt. Then if you look at those 3 loose forwards, in terms of what we want to have, we want to have a good line-out option. We want to have really, we know Warren is a great line-out option, but we need the 4th one in Opa Mahoje too, and he's been very good at that. Opa, if you look what he also brings defensively, he's very good. So you've got Siya Kolisi, a big ball carrier that also plays a similar role on the ground, playing towards the ball on attack. He understands that role, and he also understands the role in turning ball over. If you look at and someone summed it up in the media this morning, the role of the 3 or 4 loosies. It's much of a muchness. I think that's a good balance. We've got extra, with Opa option in line-out, and we've got Siya Kolisi that can do the other ball carrying role in the wide channel in the way we want to play, with Warren Whiteley carrying there as well.
Okay, we have 2 more questions in English, then we go to Afrikaans. First one,
Allister, you spoke about the importance of naming those uncapped players and how special it will be for them, but I imagine running out as a first-time captain will be very special for Warren as well. What kind of experience are you hoping that he'll take out of this weekend's game, other than a win, obviously, more from an experience point of view?
I think one thing that Warren would understand best is how to make those young uncapped players, and how to make them feel at ease when they play in front of a couple of thousands, spectators out there. And last year's experience, some of them were overawed by the occasion and couldn't get going. So he'd understand that and make sure that he gets the best out of those players. Warren is a captain that looks at the smallest detail and the smallest things, and he makes sure with his leaders, he's looking at the wide picture, and his other leadership should worry about the small other things, technical things to assist him. But now there's quite a relaxed feeling in the camp amongst the uncapped players, and which is good.
last one in English.
Coach, 12 months ago, obviously, to now, the team has looked majority very different down to the captain. Does this mean style of play also changing?
It means new beginning. New beginning in terms of everything. I think whether you can have young players, but I think what we have is a vibrant group of players. The way they've trained, and Saturday, I'm sure that they will take that onto the field. There will be mistakes because they're young players, and the new combinations. There will be mistakes. We're not living fool's paradise here, but I'm sure there's energy and there's intensity, and that is what I'm looking forward to see.
Because kort periode Afrikaans.
Coach, Johan van Graan het gesê dit is 'n persepsie dat daar probleme is met die vaste fasette. Hoe is jou gevoel daaroor?
Ja, dit is definitief 'n persepsie. Kyk, met die resultate van verlede jaar kan jy maar enige iets sê, jy weet dan lyk dit waar en dit kan so klink. So ons het definitief baie hoogs kompeteer in die eerste top 3 in internasionale rugby in terme van ons skram vernuf en vermoë en ook ons lyn staan werk verlede jaar. So ek dink die enigste ding wat ons wil bybring hierdie jaar is dat as ons seker maak dat ons baie effektief gaan wees met ons maalbewegings, ons dryf maalbewegings. As jy reg oor die wêreld kyk, dan is dit nog 'n belangrike wapen en spanne druk nog gereeld drie, sal die geleentheid het 5 tree, 8 tree, 10 tree van die doellyn af. En dit is ook deel van ons DNA as die Springbok span.
Dan is kan ek vir jou vra 'n bietjie oor die nommer 9 is Ross is obviously 'n baie ander speler as wat Fa was. So is dit wat jy van hom kyk takties goed, sterk verdediger, daai tipe ding Elton beskerm.
Ja, ek dink vir my en ek wil glad nie die twee vergelyk nie, want Fa was hy stekend geweest in daai reeks teen die Ire. Hy bring ook is ander sterkpunte wat hy het. Maar ek dink Ross is nogal 'n speler wat ook in 'n leiersrol, jy weet dis ook my deel is van die ruggraat, baie kalm is. En hy verwerk dinge goed en hy verstaan ook hoe om die balbesit te gebruik. Ek dink Elton geniet heel wat tyd met bal in hand. Ja, dis wat baie merkbaar was is die feit dat die goeie balbesit op die voorvoet vinnig in Elton se hande kom. En dis vir my deurslaggewend. En ook met die twee linkervoete, die heel agter en Boeboes wat links is en Elton is Ross die ideale opsie met sy regtervoet om ons uit ons gebied uit te kan kry onder druk.
Hulle stel die Springbok het meer as 10 jaar laas op Loftus in 'n toets verloor. Is dit iets wat jy inspirasie uitput? Jy weet daai tipe van rekord, beteken dit vir jou enigiets?
Nee, glad nie. Ek dink die verlede vir my is regtig iets agter die rug. Ou luister en kyk na statistiek, maar dit help jou nie eintlik vir jou nie, Christel. Ek dink alles tel wat Saterdag gaan gebeur. Die spelers is goed voorberei en hulle moet seker maak dat die detail moet hulle verstaan. Jy kan nie fisiek wees nie, jy kan nie 'n goeie span wees nie of jy kan nie dominerend teenoor die oppositie word as jy nie jou detail goed het nie. So die klein goede goed in die spel is wat tel en dit is wat die fisieke intensiteit kan bring. Jy kan mos nie fisiek wees sonder die bal nie. In die hand as jy op die aanval is nie. So vir ons is daai klein oorlogies belangrik. Jy weet, daai klein battles, small little battles will be important this weekend. And once you win that, then you know, you're in a good position.
Coach, net nuwelinge, in die span net vinnig daaroor praat, agterste 3, Malcolm Marx, Ross kom neer die nuwelinge en ook die rol van Franstein van die mank.
Ja, ek dink ons is ook nie naïef nie. Ons weet alhoewel Frankryk voorkeur gee om die bal te skuif en 'n bietjie rond te gooi en met teenaanvalle, sal hulle definitief wag as hulle op die voorvoet kom om dit te doen. Maar daar gaan skopspel wees in die agterste 3 toets, omdat hulle juis al 3 eerste toetse is vir die al 3, jy weet, so jongelinge is en so ons verwag dit. Daar gaan 'n aanslag wees uit die lug uit. Dit moet hanteer word, dis die span se ding, dis nie net Andries se probleem nie om dit te hanteer nie, maar ons het 'n plan dat die hele span moet reageer daarop en hulle is goed gedoen in die oefening hierdie week. So net soos ons jongelinge het in die span, sal daar ook seker by Frankryk 'n paar nuwe spelers in hulle span wees, so seker en dis maar hoe dit is. Jy sal probeer teiken waar jy moet teiken. Die ander vraag was
rol van Franstein.
Maar Franstein, Frans kom regter waar hoop ervaring en ook wat lekker is, Elton het eintlik in die week Frans gehelp. Jy weet, met waar ons is 'n span. Hoe werk sekere dinge in die span? En is vir my 'n ongelooflike soort van verhouding met die twee. En Franstein is Franstein, jy weet, sy karakter. En ek sal nooit opmerk vergeet wat hy so opmerking gemaak het. Hy sê toe, jy weet, sommer net so tong in die kies, die Elton jantjies wat laat ek my vertroue, my confidence, I'm losing my confidence hier. Ek verloor my vertroue. Hy doen alles reg en ek kry net alles verkeerd. Jy weet, so grappie, maar dis die Hugo Frans is baie eerlik opreg. En hy sal vir ons op 10 dek as hy moet en dan ook 12, jy weet. Maar jy kan hom aanwend as enige plek in die span in die agterlyn as die situasie dit voordoen, jy weet.
Allister, net opmerking weer eens oor die span. Jy het dit gesê aan die begin, plaaslike spelers, die hele beginspan is nou plaaslike spelers wat in Suid-Afrika en wat Super Rugby gespeel het en vorm. So in daai twee opsigte het jy daarbey gehou en dit wys nou in die span wat Saterdag sal uitdraf teen die Franse.
Ja, dis eintlik baie 'n lekker gevoel, jy weet, dat dit is amper so soort van emosie van vertroue wat jy in die ouens stel, jy weet, die manne wat goed vertoon het in Super Rugby. En ek dink die punt, of groter punt daarbij is dat hulle 2 weke saam voorberei. Die sekere speler kon eers, soos Fransjo kon eers van maandag af saam met die span werklik voorberei. So hy's 'n week agter eintlik, weet. Maar baie goed natuurlik opgetel en goed, maar definitief die voorbereiding is een groot aspek vir my gewees van die manne wat sameoefen vir 2 weke.
Thank you, coach. We'll end with a word from the manager.
Oh yes, ek dink net, yes, ons het nou in Knysna, we started our preparation there, and the people were really kind to us, and they were so welcoming, and we went to a coaching clinic in Knysna, and it is just so sad to see what is happening there, and you know, that was the first thing that the players spoke about, and our condolences go to the families there who have lost everything, and loved ones, and you know, there's I don't know who started, I think in conjunction, Eastern Province and the Bulls, they've started with, you know, trying to help and send stuff back, and we will just chip in and follow as well. And so from the Springboks point of view, we're really saddened by the fact that those people have lost, and our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Thank you very much, Coach.